Evening, guys. This is Klein. Welcome to the Klein Corner. It's been a while. Well, not really, just the weekend, but I needed to take some R&R, kind of just, relax and just kind of do me for a little bit. But I did. I'm back and, want to get back into this. And first thing that we're going to get back into is another question segment. I've gotten a flood of questions, actually. And, I wanted to go ahead and start with that. The other thing is that I'm just now realizing that I miscounted. So I have part 1, part 2, and then part 4, never mind 3. So, I want to try to pretend I can count. So we're going to go ahead and get this out. So this is part 3, okay? Now that being said, I still am just using my phone. I'm terrible with scripts, guys. I don't know what it is. I'd rather just shoot from the hip, and until there's something that demands that I better rally my brain cells so that we can make that happen, we're just gonna shoot from the hip. All right. If some people are thinking, hey, maybe you should try maybe try using the script. Well, I'm not gonna, because fuck you, that's why. So, with that being the case, I just want to go ahead and jump into some of these questions. Some of these are actually pretty neat, so I want to just jump right into that. So, jumping right in, still got the good old phone, all right? So, let's go ahead and jump into that, all right? So this first question says, isn't Klein a German name? Who is German in your history? I'm part German and I like the history of names. So, yes, Klein is German. No, I don't have any German in my history, at least to my knowledge. And if I do, I have to have a sit down with my mother. But for now, I don't think I do. So where my name actually came from was just the fact that it was the name of a villain in a game I used to play back in the 90s. I'm not going to tell you which one. You can guess. But I've used it as my handle for quite a long time since then. So you figure it out. Let me know in the comments below if, what you think the game is. And I'll tell you if you're right. But yeah, no, other than that, I do know that it's German. I did do a little bit of homework, but other than that, I just like the way the name sounds and the character that had that name in the game that I really enjoyed back then in my teens. So yeah, that's where that came from. Number 2. If an ant falls 5 stories from a building, does he hit as hard on the ground as, say, a 200-pound human? So, I am not 100% on physics here, okay? Not even close. I'm not the authority by any means. But based on the very little that I might know about it, as far as I'm aware, how hard that, any creature, anything hits the ground is related to how fast they're hurtling toward the ground. And even then, that speed is increased based on their mass. So, the short answer is no. I think that how hard you're going to hit the ground is based on the speed that you're hurtling toward the ground, and that's also proportionate to, your mass. So, do I still think it's going to hurt and kill you just the same? Well, hell yes, but, still. And then the next question I got was, if you jump up in a plane while standing in the aisle, do you land in a farther back aisle? The plane is moving. Are you? So another kind of neat physics thing. I personally don't think so. I don't think if you're like on a plane, you jump up in the air and you're gonna fly backwards from the force of the plane. The only reason I don't think this is the case is because, unless I'm mistaken, planes, I mean, they're pressure controlled, So no, it's an oxygen controlled environment on the inside of it. So you're not gonna feel the force, or let me be more specific. You're not gonna be thrown around by the force generated by the plane's movement. Okay, that's my guess. This is just a guess based on me being in a plane. Now, granted, I've never jumped up and down because I don't feel like being in a tube really high in the air is the best time to experiment. So, yeah, don't want to play with physics while on the plane. But there's times where I've gotten up to go take a piss, and I hadn't seen anything like that. So, I don't think that's the case. Next question. So this one is, what do you consider the greatest gangster movie of all time? So I'm actually torn between two different movies. One's a movie, the other one is a movie, but it spawned like a trilogy. But I hate to sit here and be like, hey, I'm doing the same thing that everybody else is doing because, but you can't argue with good film. So I'm actually torn between both. They're going to be a good tie for me. I'm going to say Scarface. All right. I love me some Scarface, man. All right. The dude went out like a G. He ran a good business. I can't fault the guy. It was nice. It was nice for a gangster movie. The other one was the Godfather's trilogy. I mean, the first one was a classic. Yeah, they made two more, but oh man, I love the Godfather movies. It was the first time you hear the term, at least to me anyway. If it was in an older movie, let me know in the comments below, but I'm just saying it's the first time I've heard it. Like the term go to the mattresses and what that means. I just thought it was a cool little quip to use, So yeah, those two movies, definitely. Those are going to be the movies that I'm torn between for those, yeah. And let me see. So, is Stan gone? Is Stan Lee gone or just chilling with T'Challa in the Soul Gemstone universe? Who said he's dead? Who said he's anywhere? Whatever. Like anybody can bring down Stan Lee, whatever. He's probably somewhere chilling, laughing at some, Infinity Gauntlet. He's like, yeah, Infinity Gauntlet ain't got shit on me. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Wrong movie? Whatever. Anyway, so no. I actually, if that were a real thing, I would actually hope that he's gone because who says, I don't know. Will he be back? Would he be back just because T'Challa and them come back? Mild spoiler, if you look at comics. If you don't, sorry. Yeah. But I don't know. Stan Lee is such a G. I think it wouldn't matter either way. He's just, he just is. So, sure. He could be chilling with T'Challa because when it's time for them motherfuckers to come back, they're going to come back. All right? And now I got the last one for you. All right? This is the last one for this segment. What's worse? A zombie apocalypse, a nuclear fallout apocalypse, or an environmental-based apocalypse like that movie, The Happening? So, if you haven't seen The Happening is essentially about the planet coming up with its own biological imperative that has decided that humanity is the most dangerous thing to its survival. So it develops a biological pollen, so to speak. It's scentless and, it's not something that you can see. But essentially, it affects humanity and it disables their ability to, it disables the self-preservation that every human has. So essentially, it turns humanity into a mass suicide situation. If you haven't seen it, sorry for the spoilers. It's been out for like ever. Just go and watch it. You can, I mean, if it ain't on Netflix, go to like a pawn shop and get it for $1. Sorry. All right. Now, as far as that little side piece, which one do I think is the worst? I do think it's The Happening, because in a nuclear situation, it's really, you know, it would be really bad. You know, there's going to be starvation and radiation and all kinds of issues. But this is something you can see. You can avoid it. You can do what you have to do to, you know, to affect your survival, to do what you have to. Same thing with a zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse, well, I don't know. I'm a bit of a zombie fan myself, so I've got my own little 2 cents, but the short version is that is an enemy that you can see. You can take steps to avoid it. You can combat it in a limited sense, you know, and then depending on what series or what zombie you're going for, it can be cured. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can do with a zombie apocalypse. But The Happening, you can't see your enemy. Your enemy is all around it. You were born on your enemy, you know? Just the enemy's all around you. It's the plant life. It's just, what do you do when your planet says you're dead? You know? What kind of defense do you have? Just, you know, tuck your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye because you damn sure ain't doing nothing else. You know, how do you defend against the thing that keeps you alive? You know, so definitely feel like The Happening is the worst thing going, okay? That is a biological imperative I hope never happens. And if it does, I hope I'm not here to experience it, because that would suck. But yeah, guys, so that's all I got for you tonight. It's great being back and bothering you guys. So this has been another question segment. Okay, again, I'm Klein. If you like stuff like this, go ahead and like, subscribe, get that little notifications thing as well. And by all means, comment. You know, if I see some questions, and yeah, I will add it into the next one, and, you know, we'll get it going. I actually got a treat for the next segment, so it's going to be great. You guys just have to stay tuned and find out. But until then, this is Klein with the Klein Corner. Peace.